Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. For my fast cooking system, I choose stir frying as its cooking technique. Stir frying definitely is very efficient, but more than that, stir fry also create more tasty food. In this video, I would like to describe a stir frying concept known as wok chi. A wok chi is a Chinese term that it contains two characters. The first character represents wok. The second character, chi, can be used to describe a lot of things, such as air as well as breath. Also, some people translate the term wok chi into the breath of the wok. But the meaning of chi is a little bit more complicated. It can also represent the essence or the spirit of something. So when I talked to a friend of mine, he is a chef, he described that wok chi is really the essence of the flavor that you cook in the wok. I met him now almost 30 years ago. At the time, he was in his late 70s. And his name is Danny. He just retired from a very successful restaurant business that served Chinese and Vietnamese food in Houston, Texas. He was an exceptional chef, and his expertise is to create wok chi. And his dishes is well known in the area because they taste better than anybody else. I remember during our meeting, I asked him, what is wok chi? I'm somewhat familiar with wok chi because I grew up in Hong Kong. When I was young, street food is everywhere. They are basically tables set on the sidewalk, and then you have somebody cook in a small stall. Over the past 30 or 40 years, this type of street food vendor has gradually declined. However, this kind of street food is well known for wok chi. They are particularly famous for a stir-fry rice noodle dish. I still remember them very well because I used to eat them for lunch. My parents would give me some money, and this would be my school lunch. Unfortunately, the downside of eating this type of food on the streets, it might not be most healthy and safe for you. During the middle school year, when I was about 13, I contracted type B hepatitis. Because of this, I was out of school for almost 6 months. So even till today, I fondly remember the flavor of these dishes. So when I have a chance to speak to Danny, I ask him, so what is wok chi and how do you achieve it? He told me that stir fry could be simple and complicated at the same time. Partly because of its simplicity and versatility, you can really manipulate the stir frying process. Wok chi is originated in the southern part of China, particularly in a province known as Guangdong. So wok chi is a particularly important concept in Cantonese cuisine. The word wok chi in Cantonese is pronounced as wok hei. I remember during the year when I live and teach in Shanghai, people there know very little about wok chi. They might have heard the term before, but that's not common in their culinary lexicon. And therefore, the root of wok chi in Cantonese cuisine is well-founded. And then he then went on to explain to me that the three primary principles of wok chi. The first principle is the well-known culinary chemical reaction known as the Maillard reaction. And when Danny told me about this chemical reaction, he asked me, are you familiar with it? I was a little bit embarrassed because after many years in studying of biochemistry, I heard of this reaction, but I really don't know what it is. And then he told me that the Maillard reaction is the reason why stir-frying and baking, roasting, grilling, all this type of cooking method make food taste better than if boiling or steaming them. The name Maillard reaction is named after the discoverer of this reaction, and his name is Louis Maillard in 1912. This chemical reaction takes place between 250 degrees to 300 degrees Fahrenheit when the molecules on the cell surface start to interact with each other, and this interaction results in the creation of flavor molecules. And because of this reason, any cooking method that elevates the temperature of the food ingredients to this temperature range will be more flavorful. This will include frying, baking, roasting, grilling, and broiling. However, any cooking method that do not reach this temperature, such as boiling in water or steaming, the food tends to be less flavorful. And then told me that we observe Maillard reaction all the time in our cooking and baking. For example, the brown color of the bread is due to the Maillard reaction. And then he told me that this is the reason why stir frying tastes better, and this is also the foundation of wok chi. And then he told me that the next step in creating wok chi is caramelization of any sugar molecules that are present in the food ingredients. And this chemical reaction occurs at around 330 degrees Fahrenheit, where the sugar is being chemically altered, and it creates a sweet, nutty flavor and a brown color, as shown in here as with the creme brulee. And this will take place with any ingredients with a substantial amount of sugar in it. For example, onion, carrot, all those food ingredients are candidates for browning. However, this process must be carefully controlled, otherwise the food might have an off taste. When the food ingredients reach a temperature of 400 degrees Fahrenheit and higher, the food will start to char. Here's a good example of a hamburger patties being charred on the surface. As most of us know that any food that is burned will taste bitter. However, a small amount of charring will actually add to the flavor of the food, as we all know in the case of barbecuing. After Danny described these three aspects of wok chi to me, I start to understand why the food that I taste on the street vendors during my youth tastes so good. They contain all these three different characters. And therefore, during stir frying, the main goal one want to achieve in rich wok chi is first, of course, let the Maillard reaction to take place, and this followed by caramelization, and finally with slight charring. In a future video, I'm going to describe how you will be able to achieve this in your home kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post a video each day to help you to reach a better understanding, as well as potentially adopting my fast cooking system. I believe in my fast cooking system, and I think it will change how you cook, as well as your relationship with food. I'll see you tomorrow.